How far can one go in the name of faith? What happens when a criminal finds out that he has been outsmarted? Is artificial intelligence rearing its ugly head and risking lives? All questions that connect to some of the biggest crime cases which we will explore and analyze in today's episode. You're watching Prime Crime. I am your host Dharmjot Kaur. Welcome to the show. In India's temple town of Dharamsthala, there are major twists emerging from the mass burial saga. What began as an investigation into a series of claims by a former sanitation worker has now blurred many lines. Statements have been retracted. Investigation has taken a whole new turn. Let's break down everything that has happened in the last few days and what questions still remain unanswered. The last time we spoke about this case, a special investigation team was still conducting exhumations across several sites, looking for human remains on the basis of the accusations and claims of the whistleblower cum witness. Between then and now, a lot has happened. The masked man's identity was revealed. He is C.N. Chinnaiah, who worked as a sanitation worker in Dharamsthala before leaving the job in 2014. 11 years later, he filed a complaint on July 2nd this year, claiming that he had buried over 100 bodies, many of them allegedly children and women. Some of them, he said, even had marks of violence and torture. He went as further as claiming that some very powerful people connected to the temple complex were in fact involved. The case ever since has been under the media lens. But the mass burials investigation took a major turn when the special investigation team arrested the whistleblower himself on August 23rd. Now, the arrest came after all sites of burials claimed by this sanitation worker had been dug up. Bones were found at or near two of these sites. But whether they were victims of assault and murder is yet to be officially determined. In the midst of all the flurry, the accusations, the counter-accusations and political drama, Chinnaiah is in police custody for perjury, which means he has been accused of lying to the authorities. The ex-sanitation worker, when produced in court recently, said that he was told to narrate the story of mass burials. A few people suspected to be involved behind the sanitation worker's story are being invested by the officials now. The so-called whistleblower had also been taken to Bengaluru to retrace and identify locations where he held meetings with these unidentified individuals to plan the story that will be narrated to police and court. This development has triggered a wave of reactions, political and otherwise. How much of what the former sanitation worker said was a lie? For now, investigations continue. In fact, the SIT has expanded the probe. Officials are also investigating decades-old cases of disappearances. There is a panel report from 2018 which has in detail referred to several cases of women disappearing in and around the temple town of Dharamsthala. At the time, the panel which released this report had called for the creation of a special investigation team to probe the matter. This report from 7 years ago is reportedly going to be probed further now. The SIT will also look into several FIRs which have been registered over the years, some as old as the late 90s. These police complaints of missing women who went to Dharamsthala had been filed at several locations within the southern state of Karnataka and also neighboring states as well. Now, the 2018 report is 5,000 pages long and particularly highlights the area of Belthangadi Taluk, where cases of unnatural deaths is fairly high. In the past, there have been other complaints of suspicious burials too. Officials will also be investigating those reports. Despite all the drama and twists in the story, the probe continues, but it raises serious questions. Who pushed the former sanitation worker to file the complaint in July and tell the court the story with a human skull in his hand? Is any part of the story actually true? What was the motive behind the witness coming out in public like this and risking his own safety? And what about all the reports, the FIRs, the witnesses in the past who have made similar claims? For now, all these questions have no answer.